The things that we've been most able to automate most rapidly are things that follow rules that we understand well. So we can automate chess playing, we can automate calculation, we can automate information retrieval. It's been much harder to automate things that don't follow procedures that we understand explicitly, because they're things that we do tacitly without being taught. Thinking of new ideas, developing persuasive arguments, solving a puzzle, coming up with a hypothesis. Those are very valuable human skills. They're what we expect of educated people, but we don't really know how to teach them. In fact, when I teach students at MIT, I teach them formal rules and procedures, but I don't actually know how to teach them to think of a new idea, yet I expect them to do it. But of course, that makes it hard for me to program a computer to do that. Similarly, there are many mundane physical and cognitive tasks that we accomplish that we also don't know the procedure for, but that we do effortlessly. Whether it's looking around a room and recognizing the objects, or whether it's walking on an uneven surface, or whether it's walking at all, or riding a bicycle. These are all things that you learn. Partly you have built-in equipment for doing them. Partly you accomplish them as you grow up. But you're not taught. No one says this is how you see. This is how you walk. And again, that makes it very, very difficult to engineer machines that do those things. And it's been a real paradox from the point of view of computer science that things that we think of as hard cognitively, like playing chess or solving pi to 10,000 decimal places, have been much easier computer science problems than things that we think of as effortless, like recognizing faces in a picture, or recognizing people's moods and expressions. Where we see signs of problems in the labor market throughout the developed world are in the employment and earnings of low-educated workers, especially low-educated males. Creating the skill set and the opportunity set that prevents that from becoming a kind of an underclass, a place where people they're frustrated, they feel themselves to be unvalued. That gets transmitted to their children, who feel stuck. Right, that's what I'm most worried about. That sort of at the lower tail, as the high-skilled jobs just get better and are better paid, that declining opportunity for a significant subset of adults, but particularly less educated males, creates a situation that can impede mobility, can create unrest and unhappiness, and all kinds of counterproductive behaviors that we know men engage in when they're bored and frustrated. I think, again, Germany is a country that does a very good job of, has an excellent vocational training system, keeps people employed. Denmark is very good at reactivating workers who are displaced. In general, countries that have better institutions are more adaptable. They're better at adapting to these changes.
What is your impression of Sweden?
Well, Sweden's institutions are excellent. I mean, in terms of having a good education system, I know people in Sweden are concerned that it's not as good as it used to be. Everyone always thinks nothing's as good as it used to be as a given. But I mean, democratic representation, transparency, low levels of corruption, a high degree of accountability, and an ability to change in response to changing circumstances, complemented by a highly educated workforce, a good infrastructure, and decent fiscal and monetary policy that allows you to not run huge trade deficits, even trade surpluses. So I think Sweden's poised to adapt. Countries that are less adaptive are ones that are corrupt, where there's not good representation, take the example of Russia. It's all great when the oil price is high, and not so much otherwise. They're relying on some external force. They're not being able to make the investments that allow them to adapt to those changes. there's a whole package of things that makes a country a good place to do business, successful, a place that people want to be. It's a question of the quality of life, the education of the population, crime, transparency and corruption, governance, infrastructure, sensible tax policy, and the combination of the things makes sort of labor and capital sticky, makes people want to do business there, not elsewhere. And those things are very difficult to reproduce. Most countries in the world can't offer that. And those that do tend to be successful over longer periods of time. They don't all thrive all the time, but they maintain high standards of living, and they often are able to take advantage of opportunities as they arise. So Sweden is certainly a country that's in that enviable position.